Hello and welcome to episode 166 of the Real Life Carry podcast. Zabbo's out of town, and my good friend Rich Beem is in town, so he is my Zabbo this week. Welcome, Rich.
Ooh.
Or as I like to call you, Dick.
Yeah, Zabbo. Wow, I'm your Zabbo.
You're my Zabbo.
I'm your side, and then in parentheses, and then in like capital letters, kick. I'm the guy that you like to kick around. Can you add a little more bass to that guitar? Can you have an intro with just a little bit more boom, butter, dum, butter? You know,
I nearly blew out your eardrum there, huh?
I was caught off guard a little bit by that one, I must say. But you did give me a little bit of warning. But we could have heard that from 3 blocks away.
Right, welcome back to town, Rich.
Thank you. It's always good to be back here. You got us in an unbelievable room. I mean, we're being watched over by some of the most interesting headshots of all time here at
the club, the Pacheco,
the Pacheco Club. Yes, all the past presidents. I mean, that guy was definitely
who ate all the pies.
Yeah, well, he's also. I mean, if that's not. What's the big guy from Chicago that took the baseball bat to the head? They had a show about him. The big guy, the worst mobster of all time in Chicago.
That's
his love child.
He ended up on Alcatraz.
Capone.
Al Capone.
Yeah, that's Capone's love child right there.
That really
is for sure.
Actually, that's Capone's wife. So. Well, welcome back to the Real Life Carry podcast, Dickie boy. You're back in town for a bit of golf.
I am here for the TaylorMade Pebble Beach Invitational. I don't know, for whatever reason, I was. You're going to laugh at this. I was actually in the gym with my wife, Sarah. It was about 3 weeks ago. And I knew I wanted to listen to a podcast when I went in there, and I kind of flipped through some stuff. I'm like, I'm just kind of bored with this. I haven't listened to a golf podcast, and I can't tell you how many years. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I saw the Real Life Golf podcast. I'm like, I want to listen to what Gordon's got going on these days. And it was number 164.
Right.
It was 2 of them ago, I believe.
An absolute classic.
It was. How do you tell golfers? What hole can you tell the golfers? And you're like, I can tell them in the parking lot. Yeah. And Zabbo was like, by the 4th hole. I'm like, dude, you are so far. You are so lying, Zabbo. I can tell that. But I was listening to it, and I'm laughing, and then fast forward to yesterday, and I'm driving into town to drop my dog off before I come back. And I'm listening to the podcast, and I'm laughing because I want to call in. I want to call in and yell at you guys and laugh with you guys and tell you, like, what are you guys talking about? You're so off the mark on this. Ooh, but that was funny as hell. Ooh, I like that. I mean, I was fascinated by it because you guys keep it so much more real because you can afford to. You can afford to piss people off.
Yes.
I mean... It's not a big deal if you make fun of, or if you say, listen, I don't want to caddy for that type of person. I don't want to do this and this. And I'm trying to be a little bit politically correct because, like, I don't want anybody.
You have to be because you work for, Sky Sports, eh?
I do, but I love what
honesty.
you guys. I love the honesty about what you guys say. There's no BS going through the microphone here, and it was actually really refreshing. And I'm howling laughing at a few things. I'm listening to you talking about Tim O'Neill and how you carried him to 7 bogeys in a row.
All me.
Oh, that was all you. Listen, tell me a player give me one player that says, none of those are my fault. Tell me one player in the modern that would ever say, I mean.
Amateurs, actually, professional golfers they pretty much own it.
No, you are so full of it. There's Jiminy Christmas.
It's always someone else's fault.
It is always. Yeah. I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw a player hit a bad shot and he immediately didn't look over at the caddy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a single instance in the last 7-8 years that I can think of.
Have you ever had 7 bogeys in a row? What's the most you've ever had?
Oh, I'm sure I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I came out to this event years ago, and I went out with a group of guys I was playing with on Saturday, I think it was. No, I was playing with them on Friday, so I went out with them Thursday afternoon to Spanish Bay and sat next to the fire pits. I don't know what time I made it back to my bed, but it reflected in my score the very next day. And I'm like going, that was kind of embarrassing. And they're sitting there going, let's go back to the bar. Let's have some fun. I'm going, okay.
In a real tournament, though, I don't want to like undermine this one.
No,
but,
yeah. I played horrific in the Open Championship that I qualified for in 2008. And that's the year that I best thing ever I did was walk off the golf course after 9 holes because I literally was going to have a meltdown. Like my brain was going to completely turn to less than mush. And I'm like, I turned to my caddy, I said, I don't even have to take the golf club away anymore. Like right now, I can't even fathom. I mean, I was playing a ton of golf. I was going hard, but I'm just like, I don't even know what to do right now. So I literally walked off the golf course. I think I probably shot 47 or something like that in the front 9. I couldn't do it. Thankfully, Sandy Lyle bailed me out by doing the same thing about an hour and a half later. So I didn't get drilled that badly in the press for it. But it wasn't one of my finer moments. But I literally just couldn't do anymore in a golf tournament. So I literally just excused myself. I says, guys, I'm
injured.
Yeah, I walked away saying, and they said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, I'm about to have a mental breakdown.
Wow.
If you want to see a golfer have a mental breakdown, that's fine, but it's not going to be me.
Isn't it amazing how this game can do that to people?
Oh, it's hysterical. I mean, I think that anybody that's ever picked up this game and taken that little white golf ball and put it in the ground and said, you know what, I got this. And for some odd reason, that thing looks back and you say, hey, give me your best, buddy.
It's such a thin line because if you make, I think that week with Tim, if he makes one putt, one shot, it changes everything. The flip side, literally, it's like a switch.
Yeah, and it's like a grain of sand that can go one way and everything will be fine, or the other way, and the avalanche just begins. Yeah. And and you're talking about a putt. I think it was on Friday when he shot 68. And even the funny thing is he bogeyed or didn't get up and down on 18. The difference between 68 and 67 is not a molehill. It's a mountain for guys doing it at the highest level. And I would imagine, without really knowing, but I would imagine him not birdieing 18 and then not birdieing one of the first 2 holes the next day. Mm-hmm. That was just those grains of sand starting to crumble and everything falls down. And again, it happens to everybody in this game. There's nobody that has been excluded from it. Tiger Woods went through it famously in Scottsdale Phoenix Open 2016. Maybe it was earlier than that when he got it out for the first 36 holes. He didn't have anything. Now I don't know if there's physical stuff going on, but there's nothing there. And it was the strangest thing to watch.
Well, I think it's important that listeners, amateur golfers, hear that because it is tough. You know what I mean? The struggle is real. Golf is hard. I remember myself playing a lot of golf and on the front 9, can't miss a putt. Get to the back 9 and something creeps in the mind, and or I see the plane of the putter go back and I go, oh, that was a bit wonky, and all of a sudden I can't make anything.
Why is it that we break down this game into 9 holes? Why can't we either A, think about it in 3-hole increments, 6-hole increments, 1 hole.
One shot.
One shot.
One shot.
I mean, it's so funny because like we all talk about it. Oh, the front 9 I did great. Nobody says, oh, the first 6 holes I was terrible. Then the next 8 were great, and then the last. I mean, nobody says that. Everybody says front 9, back 9. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's so much different than that. I mean, like I think there's so many games that we've played with each other. Played mentally. I used to think about it in 3-hole increments. Or if I went to a golf tournament where I knew that it was going to be extremely difficult, okay, what stretch of holes do I really need to make sure that I'm Augusta would be a perfect example of it. You've got to be just spot on mentally for 2 and 3-hole increments, and then you can take a break on a shot or 2, but then you got to be right back into it. And so but we think about it, front 9 and back 9.
Yeah. Zabbo once played a game and he texted me. He was playing Spyglass. He said that he was 2 under from 11 through 14. Right?
That's good.
I said, would you shoot? It's like 95. But you know, that amateurs will do
him.
that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That little 3-hole.
That could be the only golf. That's funny that you say that because that could be Spanish. Spanish Bay. No, sorry, Spyglass could be the only golf course that I look at the first 5 holes and then the rest of the golf course.
Yes.
Because the first 5 holes are so different because you're going out, you're in the open, and all of a sudden you turn around 6 and you're right in the middle of the trees up until 18. That could be the only one you say the first 5 holes, and then I would say play well the first 5 holes and hang on for dear life after that.
Something happened in this past 10 days. I was caddying for a couple of boys I know from Oklahoma, and we get to the 7th at Pebble, 105 yards, playing 96. I've never met a golfer happy with a golf shot. Okay? I caddy for a guy that once got a hole-in-one, 200 yards, into the wind, hits it 225, like nuts it right in the middle of the club face, on 4-iron, 3 bounces, rolls in the hole, everyone goes ecstatic, 20 yards walking off the green, he says, well, I didn't quite That's what he said. I swear to God.
Yeah, that guy needs to be punched.
He does need punched. And I then said, I don't think I've ever hit, if someone makes a putt, then they complain about the previous shot. Well, I shouldn't have had to make the 10-footer. I should have got it closer. So I have this thing, especially with amateur golfers.
Well, it's funny because, it's one thing that I always talk about. Listen, if somebody says, oh, great shot there, like say you missed your second shot, and great chip, and listen, that chip turned out to be great because I was so bad on the previous one. But that's the name of the game. Nothing's going to be perfect. It's like, I remember watching an instructor give a lesson to a top PGA Tour player one time, and he's hitting these 4-irons on this driving range, and he's just lacing them right at the flagstick, like 7, 8 in a row. And all of a sudden he pushes one by about 10 yards. Uh-huh. And the player goes, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I need. Goes. And the instructor walks over to the bag, pulls out the lob wedge, shoves it in the player's faces. Go get it up and down. I can't create perfect, and walked away. And I'm like going, you're my hero, dude. This is the best. Yeah. Because it's not perfect. You're not going to sit there. I mean, everybody talks about the stripe shows, you see this and that. It's different because we practice on a very flat piece of ground to hit golf balls on. Mm-hmm. You go on a golf course and you don't have a single flat stance or a flat lie.
Yeah.
Except for on the tee box.
If you roll back, 7th hole, beautiful calm day, sunshine.
Oh, 96.
Nice and warm.
I can smell it.
Pins right in the middle there.
Yep.
My boy Colby sets up. I think he was hitting, I can't remember what club he hit, honestly. I'm standing to the side and he hits this. It's perfect. It's just over there. And it was almost in slow motion. So it hits the back of the green. And then it's going to spin. You can just tell, when you're around golf, you'll agree. Yeah. Caddies, golfers, if you've seen a million golf shots, you know from the sound that's either thin, going long, spinning. This thing was going to spin. So it bounces, it goes past, bounces 2 feet forward, and then it starts rolling back slowly. It's in slow motion. And I'm going, I had my arms in the air. Here it is. And it lips out. So it goes about a foot to the right. It kind of comes all the way down and makes a 90-degree angle. So we know it's rolled in. So he is absolutely devastated. I was kind of devastated for him. And basically what had happened was he'd never had a hole-in-one.
Sure.
So he was about to see the pinnacle of his golf career, the Everest of his golf career, on the 7th hole, one of the most famous par 3s in the world, one of the most famous holes. Could see it all happen, and he's got a tap in. His friend Nick then stands up right behind him. He pulls it a touch. It bounces in the rough on the left-hand side between the bunker and the green. It has left to right spin in it. It spins on the green and it rolls and it lips out. 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Both of them, like the first one was legit, as in the second one was kind of luck with the way the ball. You once said once the ball leaves the club face, no point talking to it, it's done. But we walked off, like the guys are just head and hands. And I've never seen 2 people more devastated at tap-in birdies.
It's funny because since I don't do this, I don't play this game for a living anymore. I would have walked off there ecstatic. I would have been like, man, how about that? Mm-hmm. Almost making a hole-in-one here. listen, making a hole in one is sheer dumb luck. No matter how, I don't care how perfect your shot is, And I've made a number of hole in ones, but listen, they go in by luck. The one, I think the most famous one I made was at Riviera, 14th hole, one hop goes in there. That green was rock hard. Mm-hmm. If that ball doesn't land in the hole on its first bounce, it's going 35 feet away. Just because my ball is spinning that much, it hits and spins dead left, and it catches and it goes in one bounce. If it doesn't hit that thing is going to hit the ground and spin 35, 40 feet away. And there's no hole in one, there's no free car, there's no nothing. But guess what? It did. It went in. Yeah. Did I hit a good shot? Of course I did. But it was still luck as soon as it hit the ground because it hit and skipped that far left. I think that, even just the fact that he came that close to making it, I look at it, and I understand totally what you're saying, but I'm like going, man, this is what a great shot, and it could have hit.
Mm-hmm. Well, he said that on 15 minutes later, he just was shaking his head. He said, I just saw the pinnacle of my golf career. That would have been complete, and it was taken away from me.
Well, I've seen a hole in one at number 7 too.
Yeah, I've seen a few, but this one was almost in slow motion.
Yeah,
I've probably seen about 5 or 6 there, but it spun back. It was perfect, and I just knew. So, but devastated. It was a wee bit like Scotty Scheffler at the Ryder Cup. There was a hole that he played, and he hit the flagstick. He hit it so well, he almost hit it too well. The pin was cut forward. I think it was early in the back 9.
Yeah, what hole was that? 11, I think.
11, yeah.
I think it was 11. Pin was cut up there, and he hits the flagstick, and it comes zipping all the way off the green, and yeah.
We had an episode talking about our New York.
I didn't finish. That's the one I was kind of talking about yesterday that I didn't quite get to finish.
Right. Well, you were there working.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Did you think the fans were over the top?
Of course they were.
Yeah?
Of course they were. Yeah.
Do you think it was abusive?
Of course it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the reason being is that I wasn't physically on the golf course, but there's enough to hear through the microphones that you could hear. But then I've talked to so many people that I know in the game, and I was just talking to one of them the other day. It's a guy that I've known for 20 years. I've known her husband for just a little bit longer than that. And she's like, it was vile. It was vile because we couldn't hear everything because, our microphones are more centered in here. But she was walking outside the ropes and she could hear everything. And she goes, it was like, you can't believe that this would come out of somebody's mouth. And I don't know what the PGA of America was expecting, but they knew. I mean, the PGA of America messed up on so many different levels. It still eats at me a little bit.
When you say that, you mean the way they set up the course?
No,
the organization?
With the way that they handled all the fans, the what was being said, the MC on the first tee box.
Yeah.
I mean, everything about it was it was like they were ill prepared. And then we have the president of the PGA, Don Ray, saying on Sunday morning after being interviewed about it, and he, referenced Rome. And I'm like, here's the thing. I walked around Rome and I heard some of the stuff in Rome as well. But here's the funny part about it. I shouldn't say funny, but this is the reality of it. What they say in Rome, because Europeans are clever about how bad they insult you. You guys are clever about it. It's not just coming out and saying, F you, you're, this and that and throwing stuff at people. They,
crafty.
And again, it's still, you still say some words that are very choice, but it's the singing of songs and it's pretty funny, but New Yorkers, they boo their own mom, if their mom wasn't performing, if her mom screwed something up sports wise. But I just think that the PGA of America was so ill prepared, and they treated it as a free for all. They just kind of, in the mornings, Friday and Saturday morning, it wasn't horrific. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrific. But in the afternoons, it's free for all. I mean, they're just serving beer, and alcohol hand over fist, and they're just turning them loose.
Okay. Waste management. You've been there many times. I feel as if with that tournament, There was the famous one where one of the lads took his top off. Higgs.
Yeah, Harry Higgs and Joel Damon did. Yeah.
So if you go on the PGA Tour social media, they were posting that clip.
Yeah.
Right? And then they find them.
Yeah.
So they're celebrating it.
Yeah.
But they've also created the problem at the Waste Management now where they say, come along for a party.
They have, but the difference is that the people out there in Phoenix, they're just drunk and they don't know there's a golf tournament going on.
Oh, okay.
They have no earthly idea. I mean, listen, I've been going there since 1999, and I've walked around and watched people. They have no idea what's going on. They have no idea what golf is. They just know that right now they're in the world's largest topless bar.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And meaning it doesn't have a roof over it. That's why I call it the world's largest topless bar. But they're out there and they're drinking. They have no earthly idea that there's even a golf tournament, half of them, 3/4 of them. The Ryder Cup, a lot of the tickets were sold corporately. If you happen to get one, it was $7.75 per day. Yeah. I ran into a couple that for two of them, the entire week, they spent $20,000 a pop. And they got access to a bar, down by the first tee, and then go walk around. I think there's another place I could go hang out towards the end of the golf course. I mean, like out by number 10. At least people that bought tickets, they knew what they were going to. Mm-hmm. People that show up in Phoenix, they have no earthly idea what it is. So it's. I think it's a different dynamic. And even the Waste Management, the Thunderbirds who run Phoenix, they've got an understanding that maybe it's gotten a little out of control. I don't know if it's going to slow down, especially around 16. 16 is its own animal. I think the Phoenix Open is 98% about number 16. Mm-hmm. I really do. They're trying to push more areas around the golf course now, but it's been about number 16 since I can remember. Mm-hmm. And that's all it is. 16 is getting bigger, better, faster, stronger. That's the only time you hear stuff like the nasty stuff, but they've created their own beast, and they continue to do it each year. They could curb it a little bit more, and I think they're trying to now. But
How do you stop a repeat in New York then?
Honestly, I don't understand why they wouldn't at least have. From what I could tell, most of the sheriffs, police officers, things like that, were inside the ropes protecting the players. Why they wouldn't, and these guys wouldn't even have any authority. Get me some big dudes. Go down into Manhattan, Brooklyn. Go down. Give me all the bouncers. Give me the club bouncers. The guys that are 6'8", roided up, and put a yellow shirt on them that says security.
Yeah.
They don't have to do anything. They don't have to have a walkie-talkie. Just listen. Just let them walk around, because people would like, oh, I don't want to, have that guy come over and do anything to me. But they just didn't seem to have anybody outside the ropes. Again, they had 40,000 people on the weekends.
Well, they made enough money so they could afford it. I'll tell you, I was in a sandwich store in Phoenix, in Arizona, about 3 or 4 years ago, and coming from California, where it's a free-for-all, right? They lock up deodorant in the supermarket, you know what I mean? Well, I'm standing waiting to order some soup and a sandwich, and the two guys in front were packing, and they had the over the shoulder kind of gun sling, and I just thought to myself, that actually fills me with a wee bit more I didn't feel unsafe. I don't particularly feel unsafe in California, but I thought. I think someone would think twice about trying to steal here.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. If you had it plainly says security.
That's all it is.
And a menacing looking character, but you need them every sort of 30, 40 yards. I think that would
listen. They could have. In fact, you need them every 30 or 40 yards, but completely moving with the crowds, because it's not like the crowds are just sitting in one area.
Flowing.
That's exactly right, because you only have 4 groups out on the golf course at any given time on Friday and Saturday morning and afternoon. So you just kind of keep them roving a little bit, put a couple guys in some grandstands, so on and so forth. I mean, granted, you're going to have to put an extra, I'm just going to take a guess and say
1,000.
I was going to say 200 to 250 warm bodies. It could be 500 warm bodies out there, but that's going to curb it a little bit. And if you want to give them, any bit of authority, you probably could a little bit, depending on what training there is. But they've known the Ryder Cup is going to be there for how many years? 6, 8 years. They could have curbed this so much better. And I think you're gonna see a very, very, very small fraction of this going on in Ireland. Yep. Because the owner of Adair is not gonna tolerate it. The European DP World Tour is, I think we reached the pinnacle of how poorly people can be on a golf course. And I think they're just going to say, we've gone too far. And it'll be interesting to see how it goes forward here in the U.S. Next time it's over here will be interesting enough at Hazeltine.
A couple of quick questions before we go to break.
We have a break?
We have a break, Rich. Come on. This isn't Sky Sports. We have to work all the way through. We get a break.
Okay.
Did your colleagues at Sky Sports give you a hard time? Did they gloat?
Oh, they were gloating. They were gloating big time Friday and Saturday. And even my boss comes out on Sunday morning talking about, who are the lead interviewers should go talk to and when to be ready.
Oh,
and he came out, and this was funny. He came out probably about after the 5th or 6th group had gone off, and there's already a lot of blue on the board. And so he was talking about this group, this and that. And then I didn't see him for a very long time. He didn't leave his office for a very long time when all those red came up on the board, and it was turning very quickly. And they were, listen, I give it to them as an American, and I was taking it as an American because we were getting a battering, right? And yet I'm just like, and I didn't say anything. I'm like, yeah, you guys are getting the best. All of a sudden we start winning. I'm like,
Sunday was impressive.
I'm like, hey boys, how you doing? How you feeling? Feeling pretty good? And yet it could have gone both ways.
Yeah.
They could have either played like they did or owned the worst defeat in Ryder Cup history. And I'm glad to see how I would also say the Europeans probably spent a lot of energy on Friday and Saturday.
Huge. Tremendous golf. Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Sunday, Henley leaves 2 putts short, 17-18. Unforgivable. And
yeah, the 1 on 18 was unforgivable.
You don't want to start going ifs and buts. Makes that putt, completely changes it.
Of course,
and that's
it does.
The pressure in the last couple of groups. Did the Americans get the course set up wrong?
A little bit.
Chop in the rough.
Yeah, the rough needed to be a little bit more because it was not. The golf course wasn't anything like what anybody would have seen it in the PGA from there in 2019, which is when most of them would have seen it. But when it was first introduced there in 2002, yeah, it was nasty. And now it took all the teeth away. The fairways were so much wider. There wasn't any penalty for hitting in the rough. It didn't present too many challenges other than the fact that, hit a decent second shot and make a putt. And that's all it was. And yeah, the golf course was set up especially for that one. Now, there's other golf courses you can make a little bit softer and they're still going to have a challenge, but not that one because it took away basically all of its defenses by having no rough. And that'd be the only criticism. But again, here's the thing. It's the same for everybody. What does it matter? I mean, it shouldn't. I think that the Europeans spent more time there because they were over there for a good
2 weeks.
2 weeks. And they would have played it 2 or 3 times right after the BMW PGA, and then they went out and played other places around the New York area. It looked like they were having a gas. It took like a nice little massive boys' vacation for a week before the boys had to get back to work.
Yeah.
And they enjoyed everything about what they did.
Thank you for that, Rich. We're going to have a quick break and come back with mailbag questions.
4!
So if you have any questions, comments, feedback, send them in podcast@glorifieddonkey.com, or you can go to the social media platforms.
I travel a lot, and I just got this text message this morning from National Car Rental from a number, 314. I'm assuming that's around here.
No.
I don't know what 314 is. Anyways, that's about the serve, the car and whatnot. And I just said, it's a very nice car. It was 10:45 when I finally picked one out last night, or 10:30. And I'm like, I just want to get in a car and get down here. I said, nice car, but the ride down is a little bouncy. The shocks are a little bit bouncy, and whatnot. And I just put that on there. I said, you can come back and exchange it if you want to. So I'm in Pebble Beach. It'll be fine. But I didn't realize anybody would actually reply to this. So it was kind of nice to get a reply from one of those.
Who is it?
Spam kind of thing. National Car Rental.
National Car Rental. There you go.
Yeah, National Car Rental. Give them a free bump.
That'll be AI.
There you go.
Could be.
It could be. Oh, see, you're ruining it for me now. I thought there might be, somebody.
How old are you?
55 physically, mentally 12.
Still working it out.
I haven't gotten into AI yet.
Do you think the NFL's rigged?
Oh, don't ask me that. I don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
You work out one day.
Listen, you're Scottish conspiracy theorist. You guys can see the dark side of a silver lining.
How is Coulthard? Good form?
I love Andrew Coulthard. I can't say enough cool things about Andrew. He's doing great as always. Every time I see something funny on Instagram, I always text it to him, and then he goes on a rant about it and whatnot. And I can only read it, but I can still hear it.
Yeah.
I can still hear his voice while I'm reading it. But no, Andrew's doing great. I love him. He's one of the all-time best.
Brilliant. First question. I recently played golf in Africa for the first time. They have a lot of kikuyu grass on their courses. I really enjoyed playing off non-tight lies for a change. What's your favourite type of grass to play on? And that's from a Blair Thompson from Surrey in England.
Yeah.
Africa, huh?
Yeah. I mean, kikuyu is what they have.
Do you know where the name comes from?
I don't.
Kenyan tribe. It's the name of a Kenyan tribe, and that's where the grass comes from.
I got to write that down because Wayne Riley loves the kikuyu.
Love it.
Kikuyu. Yes. So it's a Kenyan tribe. All right. They have it in L.A. They have it in San Diego, Mexico, most places, anywhere along the coast and whatnot. Kikuyu, Paspalum, and Zoysia, kind of all in the same genre. The best conditioned golf course I've ever played in, from my standpoint, is a PGA at Key Island, because everything there is Paspalum, tee to green. Greens are Paspalum. They shave them down, and they're absolutely pure as a driven snow. I mean, they're absolutely amazing, and you can get them as firm as you want, but they're still going to be receptive. They're going to putt. You can get them as fast as you want, I should say, not as firm, as fast as you want. They're still going to be a little receptive, and they're just a delight to putt on. I actually putted on Zoysia greens, which I think, which is brand new to the U.S. There's only two courses, I guess, in the U.S. One, both of them in Texas, one in Houston, and one in a place called Spicewood, Texas.
Interesting.
And nobody really thought that to be a good green grass. I putted on them, and they were absolutely over the top. So the hardier grasses with the thicker leaves, that's what kikuyu, Paspalum, and Zoysia is. I think those are probably going to be looked at as a little bit more dominant because they're easier to take care of. Mm-hmm. You can water them with terrible water, like recycled, reclaimed water. Paspalum is all seawater. Kikuyu is kind of the same thing, I would imagine. It's got to be in the same family anyways, yeah.
I love actually kikuyu because the ball sits up.
Oh, it sits up, yeah. Same
it's
thing.
It's almost like a tee.
Yeah. Yeah, you never get the ball sitting down, even around the greens. I mean, when they mow it tight and close, it still sits up.
Still spongy.
Yep.
Do you have kikuyu in the greens? Or is it mostly...
I would think you could probably have kikuyu down in that part of the world. I haven't seen it. You know what? That'd actually be interesting to know if they could, or if they even tried, because if you think about all the poana that they have around here, and California poana is a lot different than the poana you find in your neck of the woods, in Scotland and things like that. And there was poana's great to put on. Wait till you get cold and wet and bumpy and whatnot. I'd be interested to know if anybody's tried to mow down kikuyu and use it as a green surf. I'm sure some places have, especially in like maybe a public golf course or something like that in Africa.
You ever played golf in Africa?
Joburg is the only place I've been.
Okay,
I'd love to go back and explore more of it.
Yeah. Next question. This comes from a Roger the Dodger, and he is in Pasadena. in Los Angeles. Have you ever come close to getting into a fight or verbal altercation with a golfer you were caddying for? So that's for me and Zabbo. Have you ever got close to a verbal altercation or fight with a caddy?
Oh, I haven't, no.
No. I can't imagine you doing that.
No, not even close. Listen, I'm the exception to the rule when it comes to caddies. I know that the person that hit the shot is the one that should be blamed for it because my caddy of 14 years on tour, he was giving me all the information because his paycheck is kind of predicated on how well I play. So he's not going to sit there and do anything to sabotage what I do. Now, I've seen some players and caddies get into some heated arguments, toe to toe and things like that, where a caddy is standing his ground a little bit. But the only altercations that I know between player and caddy would probably be between Ricky Roberts and Ernie Els. They used to love to get drunk and beat each other up.
Oh, okay. I remember Ricky Roberts, actually.
I mean, fantastic dude. I mean, I love them both to tears, but they used to just love. I mean, they're South African. They're not going to take any grief from either of them. And so, yeah, I know they've gotten into a few fisticuffs.
South Africa. I have been writing a book for the last year. You can tell Andrew this, actually. I'm just on the part where he sacks me in Madeira. But there was a South African once, because a lot of South Africans caddy in the European Tour. And we're on a boat. I think we were going from the small island to the big island in Madeira. And it was just when online betting was kind of starting. 2007, 8. It maybe started before then, but he was live streaming it on the ferry on a horse race. And he lost the horse race. And he picked his laptop up and he walked outside onto the deck and he threw it in the ocean. Threw the laptop in the ocean. And then walked back to his pint. Crazy. So yeah, I could see Ernie in that.
Oh yeah,
punches.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm sure that there's got to be other stories of it, but I haven't seen it.
We can get into. I used to get into more altercations as I get older.
Well, and you can't afford to get in altercations out here.
You said stand your ground. I'm not going to have some hack from Pasadena in Los Angeles who plays off 24 tell me a ball didn't break or giving me grief about a club selection or something. It's when people are chipping, they go, well, where should I land it? I don't know. Are you going to play it low, high, whatever? And then they say they don't know how far they hit their club, and then they fly a green
that's why you give them the putter. Where should I land this with this wedge?
With this, putt it. But it's been a few years. We don't typically get offended anymore, but
it's hard not to. Listen. You're a full grown man. If somebody's going to have a go at you, it's in your DNA to say, nah. If you have an issue here,
100%, and most of the time people know. But to be honest, the last few years, very little. Next question from a James Dowd, and he is in Yonkers in New York. Big G, why do you dislike lab putters so much? I bought one 2 years ago and feel like I've really improved my putting. Well,
yes, I want to hear the answer to this because I know that you have a disdain for them.
I hate lab, and I hate the design. I think they're over-designed. They look ugly. They have all these screws and stuff. I don't see what that really serves, apart from getting dirt and grass stuck in them, and it makes the job cleaning it. They're overpriced. I think it's very much overpriced. My real disdain of them probably dates back to a social media post I made a few years back. And the post was just a bit of banter, a bit of fun.
Yeah,
it was a bit of fun. In actual fact, if you go to the Instagram page, you'll see it. It's about club iron covers, and I believe the owner of the company,
Sam,
could be.
Sam, yeah, Sam's a great guy. He's madder than a box of frogs, but yeah.
Well,
good guy.
Somebody at Lab
makes
it public and starts trying to school me and saying that the post was hateful, etc. Then they deleted it.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be Sam.
And then they went to the direct messages and proceeded to send me a number of. I still have them. I can show you them. And just try to school me. At which point I replied one line just saying, when you leave the house in the morning and there's a big dog shit in the pavement, you have the choice to walk around it or walk in it. I said, you need to learn how to walk around it. And that's all I said, because my wife taught me that.
That is really funny. I got into it one time with Aimpoint. I forget what it was. I said something on, I think it was on air, because the very next week somebody texted me right back, and I said, well, I think it's fine, but it's taking way more time, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, meet the guy in Carnoustie during the Open Championship in 2018, because he's going to take me through the nickel version of it. I don't really remember it, because Monday night I went out with Colt's Heart.
Yeah.
I understand Aimpoint. Again, some people, they swear by it, they can do it. It's all that. But, it's funny. I first saw lab putters way back in the early 2000s, and I thought that the interesting part about it was, the size of it, but how it worked. But MOI putters are nothing new. David Adele used to do them out of Austin, Texas. Know David very well. I think that Sam has kind of taken it to a little bit different level. But the one thing that Sam has done with the angle of the shaft coming up and the way they put the grip on, they've perfected that, I think, where the hands match the leading edge of the blade. So it's kind of the way the shaft is angled and whatnot. I think they've done some they've made some pretty cool technological advances of it. Are they a bit big and whatnot? Of course they are. But listen, you can't stop a movement. They're just, I understand where you're coming from, why you dislike them, but I think lab putters, listen, if you like them, putt with anything, dude. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'll take it out of the bag if you're around.
I will putt with a banana on the end of a stick before I use a lab putter. But there you go. I would say
I'm going to send you a yellow lab putter for Christmas.
Oh, yes. Straight in the bin. Golf has a reputation for being super uptight and stuffy. I understand the sentiment. However, last month I played with a colleague at his club. I was welcomed with open arms, from the bag drop to the pro shop to the cart girl. What course have you played and had the best experience? And that's from a Brian Nichols, and he's in San Antonio, Texas.
And a good old Texas boy right there.
I understand what he's saying. Would you rather be a member at a good club with a shite golf course, or a really great course and a shitty membership?
Oh, I'd rather be with a great membership in a decent golf course. Yeah,
rinky dink,
without a doubt. I mean, it's the only reason why I think we go to the places that we go to go play golf. It's not because of the golf course itself. It's about the experience. It's about walking in, and kind of like Norm, everybody knows your name. Mm-hmm. It's like going into Cheers, and you there's a table you can go sit at, or everybody. I mean, to me, this is the only thing that golf should be about, is a camaraderie, and you're going because, again, as a professional golfer, the person I spent the most time with every single day was my caddy. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't going to sit around and hang out with a guy that I didn't really like.
Yeah,
I was going to hang out with somebody that's, my closest friend, who he still is my closest friend. So I'm not going to go someplace just because of how beautiful a place is. I'm going to go because I want to go hang there. I want to go, if I'm going to get away from doing, things that I could possibly doing, to go hang out and play golf and enjoy my day, I'm going to go someplace where I feel welcome. I'm going to sit there and have some nice banter with some folks. I'm not going to feel intimidated. I'm not going to feel uncomfortable. That's where I'm headed to 8 days a week, no matter how good or poor the golf course is.
There is a local place around here, and a guy that I've caddied for years, good friend of mine, told me that when he turned up with 3 other mates, they were playing unaccompanied at this place. They're in the pro shop, spending a bit of money, of which they have plenty. And a member walked in and said to the boy behind the cashier's desk, I don't know if he was the third assistant or he was the first assistant or whatever he was, right?
Yep.
But he worked at the club. Hey, Tony, who are these guys? At which point Tony replied, just another bunch of nobodies from nowhere. So, yeah, I would rather... Now, the guy that he said it about, he thinks everything's funny, so he did. I do actually think it's amusing. It could be used in a sitcom or something, but that was the attitude of that place. So, I'm with you. I'll take the dog track with a really good membership. That's funny, isn't it?
Wow.
Just another bunch of nobodies from nowhere. Andrew Sutton from a Rhinelander. Do you know what that is? Rhinelander?
No, but I couldn't believe you guys didn't know where Peoria was last night. Rhinelander. I've never heard of Rhinelander.
It's actually a play probably off of Rhine and Land, which would be German.
Yeah.
And that's in Wisconsin. Makes sense.
Yeah.
A bunch of krauts up there.
They're
playing
Vikings.
No, they're krauts.
They're not Krauts, are they? Vikings are actually in Minnesota.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but
a lot of Germans in Wisconsin, and Rhinelander would suggest that.
Yeah. Sadly, you're right.
Okay. I accept your apologies.
I
started playing golf. You are like Zabbo then. I started playing golf about 8 years ago. I have now given up my weekly soccer game with the boys and will only play golf going forward. What age, realistically, do you think I can play until at a reasonable standard? Woofed.
It's reasonable standard is the last is the thing that you're going to have to figure out yourself. I mean, I tell you what, I play golf with guys that are 80 years old. There's a guy actually out at the course I'm a member at back home, Summit Rock. He's 90. I think he's 93 or 94. He plays 9 holes every day. He shot 44 the other day. I mean, he goes all the way forward. We shot 44, but only plays 9 holes, so he could break his age, easily. But he plays 9 holes, comes in, has a beer, goes home, takes a nap, and goes on with his day.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's just like, here's the thing: play it for as long as you have enjoyment out of it.
Good point.
I mean, until you really get frustrated with everything going on, because listen, no matter how old you are, you get a chance to hit that one more crisp drive, and then you got that little wedge shot, and you hit it just perfectly off the turf.
Knife it over the green.
Yeah, or you make that 35-footer. I mean, play it as long as your body and mind will allow. There's no age where you have to stop. It's all about what your limitations are.
When does it start coming back the way?
I just turned 55 this year, and in this year I've kind of noticed it a little bit, partially because of a lingering elbow problem, but I also think time is catching up. So 55 for me is when I'm kind of noticing it. But yeah, that's we're not going to outlive it.
The last 10, 15 years my dad played, he adopted what I called the pussy slice. The inability to turn or put effort in to get the belly button facing the target. So it's much easier to just slice the ball down the fairway 220. And I dread the day that comes true for me.
You won't be playing golf that long.
I won't get that. I won't
you will
get
not.
that age.
No, you're not. No, you're a true Scotsman. You hate everything about this game.
Do you know what? That's so true.
I know.
Despise it. Absolutely despise it. So that's a good question. Realistically, I like the point you said, though. He decides the reasonable standard.
Oh, absolutely.
Last question. As 2025 draws to a close, what are your golfing highlights personally, professionally, or in the game as a whole? And that comes from a Paddy C, and he's from Dublin in Ireland. Dublin.
I don't have any personal ones, to be fair. I mean, I played in 3 tournaments this year, and I was walking up the last hole, and after 36 holes, and I was 13 over par, and I was just like, I'm so happy I'm not going to have to play 36 more to this whole golf course. And you can't believe my disappointment when I found out the cut was 15 over par. That's the God's honest truth. I think professionally it's watching Rory complete the career Grand Slam. I think that watching him, the final 9 holes, live. I think everybody that watched it with any sort of intensity probably took about a year and a half off their life because of the highs and lows everybody was going through. I mean, after hitting his 3rd shot in the water in the creek on 13, and then bogeying 14, and then almost eagling 15, birding 15, 16, and 17. and then bogeying 18, and then winning in the playoff. I mean, I think most folks, especially from Dublin, probably lost a couple of years off their life for sure. Mm-hmm. So there probably would be a pint of Guinness and probably a smoke out in front, being nervous about it. But that's probably the one that I think I'll remember. And just being a part of it, I think, was probably one of the coolest things that I can say. Like, I watched this guy because I was in the booth for the last 7 holes watching all of this unfold, thinking, he's got this, and then watching him throw it away, and you're going, what in the world is going on? And then to winning it again, and then to the playoff, and then watching his emotions afterwards. That's a real sport right there. That his emotions after winning it, that's what sport's all about.
Yeah, as a lover and hater of the game, I think that would probably be the highlight, really, from that. Maybe Scotty Scheffler. I'm loving to see his development. What a player.
What I found amazing about this year with him, though, is watching him after winning the PGA, then going to the U.S. Open at Oakmont and having a go at Randy Smith on the driving range, them showing that. And I thought, this is hysterical. World number 1 just won the PGA, and he's hitting shots in the driving range and just barking at Randy Smith. I thought that was absolutely, that goes to show you, I mean, like, listen, he burns hot. He's all about the fire in there. He wants to win the worst possible way.
Well, you'll know as well as anyone, the media is a joke. When that whole thing at the Open, when he was asked a question and he said his family means more and blah blah. Well, they didn't actually. You never heard the question. You only heard his answer, and then they cherry pick what they take. So it's the way they elevate a star and then they drag him down. And he's not Tiger, he's not this, he doesn't have a personality. But, he doesn't want to be in the limelight. He's a golfer. Just treat him as a golfer.
Well, Tiger never really wanted to be in the limelight either.
But he took a lot of the sponsorship money.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, it's not like Scotty's turning that away, either. But I also think that it was a very interesting answer that Scotty gave, because I think and the reason why is because everybody read it into it differently. There was argument after argument after argument at the pubs. At home.
At the pubs, yeah.
At home, sorry. No, and everybody was trying to dissect what he was trying to say. And it's not like he doesn't like the game and doesn't want to be a part of it. It's just that he's got a different viewpoint of it.
The value system.
It kind of goes back to that previous question. Realistically, how long? Scotty said, listen, realistically, I'm going to play until it doesn't compliment me anymore, because obviously it doesn't make him who he is. It just complements who he is as a person, because he has that desire to win. And when that desire to win probably leaves him, then he's probably going to say, you know what, I'm good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. One last thing before we move on to our shout outs, but Live Golf moving to 72 holes. Do you think this is another step towards the tours getting back together, some sort of resolution?
I don't think it is. I think it's a way for them to justify getting world rankings for it. I don't think that either side, from the last time that I've heard anything from anybody on the inside, which is really not much, but the only thing that could possibly bring them together is the CEOs of both of them now, because PGA Tour now has got a CEO as well as Liv does. They both have an NFL background. They knew each other from previous. But again, they're going to have to come up with a way to have it make sense, because the guys whose contracts are running out, if they have access to the PGA Tour, then they should have access to the PGA Tour. I think there's only 2 of them that I know of, Brooks and Bryson, who've won majors and would have that exemption going forward. I think everybody else has got to go back, get your tour card the old-fashioned way, earn it again.
Yep.
I don't think that unless you've got a different way, Dustin Johnson maybe, I think he's got 20 wins on the PGA Tour, so he might be lifetime exemption. I certainly don't think we'd ever see Phil out there again, but
no.
I just don't. If you have a way to access it back, I don't have an issue with it. But guys like Taylor Gooch, he's won $66+ million in Live, but you're going to have to go back through tour school. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, but you went and took a lot of money, earned a lot of money. Congratulations. Mm-hmm. but it doesn't give you the access or the right to come back and play on the PGA Tour.
Interesting. Shoutouts. I got Kevin Schuler. He is the recent Sacramento Builders Golf Club champion.
Oh.
Yes, he won in a controversial finish where the leader of the tournament played from the wrong tees. I wrote that down, but I never actually thought about it. You know what I mean? Because you just he played from so everyone was waiting for them at the 18th green or 18th tee. I don't know. We watched the whole thing. And the guy played from the wrong tees, and then it turned out he played from the wrong tees the whole day.
Oh, Jesus.
So that's in match play, apparently, if you play from the wrong tees, your opponent can say that you have to play from the correct tees or just let the shot go. But if you do it it's a 2-stroke penalty, but if you do it for the whole round, you're disqualified.
Well, of course. Nota Begay got disqualified, funny enough, from the New Mexico Open one year. He was beating the pros by a long shot. There's a bunch of threesomes that went out, and for whatever reason, the last 2 groups were twosomes, and it might have been because of withdrawals or whatnot. So these 2 balls were waiting on them all day. So they just joined up as a foursome. They said, listen, we're waiting all day, so why don't we just make up in a foursome?
DQ'd. And
got disqualified. That actually happened to me. I was on the very end of a reverse horseshoe draw, was going out. Everybody's in threesomes. The last twosome off of 10, 2 twosomes. And the rules official said, you guys all play fast. Enjoy your foursome. So we did. We played one of the few foursomes ever on the PGA Tour.
Wow!
But we had 4 guys that could play really fast, and they were not worried about us keeping up with the threesome in front of us.
Well done, Kevin. You'll put that on. It is actually the trophy. He sent me a photo. It's on his mantelpiece. The Sacramento Builders Golf Club 2025 champion. So a big hello to all the boys there. Tom Fisher from Vegas. We'd previously mentioned him. His golf course is pronounced Paiute.
No, it's Paiute, isn't it?
Oh, Paiute. Okay, there's no A at the end. Paiute.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think it's called Paiute.
Okay, Paiute.
Paiute.
It's a lot closer than I got it the last time.
Yes,
Rich.
it was. There's no doubt.
Nick the Greek and all the boys from Guadalajara. That's actually LaGuardia in Oklahoma, but I call it Guadalajara. That's where one of the boys that lipped out on 7. That's where he's from. He doesn't listen.
I gotcha.
Nick the Greek does, and then a Kevin Baker, who is a podcast listener that I carried for him and Uncle Jerry a couple of weeks ago. And it turns out that actually Kevin lives in San Francisco, but he's from here. I'd actually caddied with him years ago. Left a massive impression on me because I didn't recognize him at all, but he's a good lad.
How do you recognize anybody that's come back here you have to see hundreds.
Hundreds.
I mean, and again, you've got a great relationship with a lot of the folks that come through here because you have a lot of callbacks, a lot of your regulars that come back every year and ask for you. But how are you going to remember a guy that came out here 4 years ago and was paired with you just once? You played 18 holes and you're like, oh, I remember you.
It's funny though that if someone was a good guy or they tipped well,
I was about to say the tip. Yeah, no, absolutely, yes.
And then as soon as I see a golf swing, I'll be
true.
Like, it all rushes back. It's because that's part of the job is recognizing faces, remembering names. So,
do you remember the nice people more than the idiots, or do you remember the idiots?
Well, people always say, "Oh, are we going to be in the podcast?" We say, "No, you're too boring. You're too nice." So you have to be at different sides of the spectrum. You have to be a complete asshole, or you have to be just off the charts.
Yes.
So, but I probably remember a bit of both.
Gotcha.
Last one is Good Boy Golf, our clothing sponsor, goodboygolf.com. Donkey 25 for a 25% discount. Rich, anyone you want to shout out? You should shout out Coulthard and then have him listen.
Oh, he's not going to listen again. He's got better. He hates the game more than you do. He literally hates the game more than you do. I try and drag him out every once in a while, but he absolutely hates the game. Yeah, it's hysterical to watch. And yet every time I see him on Instagram, he's doing another charity day and whatnot. Good for him. He goes out and does it for something that he absolutely hates the game, but that's okay. Do I have any shout outs? No, I really don't. Not that I don't like anybody. I just,
Zabbo?
Yeah, he's going to come out and drive the golf cart for me. I think later on this weekend. I asked him yesterday, I said, you got anything going on? He goes, no, I don't. I said, listen, don't charge me very much, but you can drive the cart and drink the beer and whatever else and listen to the music. Just if I want to walk down the fairways, just drive the golf cart. He goes, I can do that.
Done. Excellent. Well, listen, thank you very much for coming
buddy.
in and co-hosting. That was
Absolutely.
brilliant as always. Have a great week.
Thanks. You as well.
Hard.
You as well with Tim. Yep.
And you probably missed a cut, you think?
Plus
Plus 13?
Right on the number. Oh, plus 13. No, I'm not going to shoot plus 13. There's no chance.
Okay, well, listen, enjoy your week in Monterey anyway, and I look forward to seeing you again next year. Listeners, there's 165 previous episodes. Get out, enjoy it, support the show, and until the next time, get out, enjoy your golf, but more importantly, keep it humble.